Okay, grade 8, now we're doing numeric and geometric patterns, and we're looking at patterns involving a common difference. By the end of this video, we're going to fill in something right here. Remember, we're in patterns, functions, and algebra. Okay, let's go for it. Patterns involving a common difference. Let's look at an example. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. What's the common difference here? You can see I'm just plussing 2, plussing 2. Plussing 2. There's a common difference. So this is a pattern involving a common difference. And that common difference is 2. What about 7, 10, 13, 16, 19, 22? What's the pattern here? Well, we plus 3. Plus 3. What about minus 1, minus 3, minus 5, minus 7? What's the common difference here? Minus 2. Minus 2. We're minusing 2 each time we go. It can be negative, your common difference. What about 5, 2, minus 1, minus 4, minus 7? What is 5 minus 2? That's minus 3 because we're going down. 2 to minus 1 is minus 3 again. We have a common difference. So we have a common difference which we call arithmetic sequence. Now, grade 8s, you don't need to worry too much about the vocabulary, but know that a common difference is an arithmetic sequence. It's worth learning though, because you're going to definitely have it in future years. Let's look at an example. 2, 6, 10, 14, 18, 22. Right? This is our term 1, our term 2, our term 3, term 4, term 5, term 6. So if I said to you, what is term 3? You would say term 3 is value 10. So the difference is term 2 minus term 1. And that is 6 over here minus 2, which is equal to 4. And that is the same because 10 minus 6 is 4, 14 minus 10 is 4, 8 minus 14 is 4, 22 minus 18 is 4. So the difference between each of these terms here is 4. And that is the common difference. We call this n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, n is equal to 3, and that is the number of the term. N is another way to say term. That is n over there. So what is term 3? Term 3 is equal to 10. What is n5? n5 is equal to 18. Okay, let's have a look at the usage. Why would you use patterns? You're given a formula, an equals 4 minus 3n minus 1. Solve the first 3 terms. So we say n is 1, n is 2, n is 3. That's term 1, term 2, and term 3. This is our table we've just made. Term 1, a1, this is here, these are your a's, your terms. a1 is equal to 4 minus 3, 1 minus 1. We made n is equal to 1. You can solve that. That's 4 minus 3 times 0, and that is simply equal to 4. So our first term is term 4. What about term 2? a2 minus equals 4 minus 3. Now n is 2 minus 1. So that's 4 minus 3 is 1. And that would be now our term 2 of 1. What about t3? a3 equals 4 minus 3, 3 minus 1, and that goes to minus 2. So we have minus 2. We can work out our difference by going t2 minus t1. We say 1 minus 4 is equal to minus 3. So the difference is minus 3. Okay, so how can we use this? We have got the same formula, an equals 4 minus 3n minus 1. What if I ask you, what is the 21st term of this pattern? Do you have to write out the whole pattern? No, you can simply find a21 is equal to 4 minus 3. We make n is equal to 21. So we get 4 minus 3 times 20. What is 3 multiplied by 20? You know that's 60. 4 minus 60. And a21 is equal to negative 56. Okay, grade 8s, we're going to show you the general formula now. Now, don't be psyched out by this. It is difficult, but it is very easy once you've got it, once you've understood it, and once you've practiced it. Practice it, practice it, practice it. You're going to use it in future years. We have our formula, our pattern 2, 6, 10, 14. T1, right, we call T1 A. What I mean by that, T1 is equal to A, and here in this example, A is equal to 2. T2 is equal to T1 plus a difference. That makes sense. You know our difference is T2 minus T1, and that difference is 4. So if we said T1, that is 2, plus a difference of 4, we're going to get 6, and that is T2. What about, so T1 is the same as A. What about T3 is equal to T2 plus a difference? So 6, right, plus a difference of 4 is equal to 10, right? So we go that T2 plus D, but what do we know that T2 equals? T2 is equal to A plus D. So we swapped T2 to equal A plus D. That's that D over here. This is equal to A plus 2D. T3 now follows the exact same thing, where we go A plus 2D plus D, because we're now going two differences. And this is equal to A plus 3D. Now, the things to notice here is that this here is 2 less than this here, and this here is 1 less than this. So what do we mean by that? We match, or we extend this pattern to infinite, where Tn is equal to Tn minus 1 plus D. So I could use T7 is equal to T6, because n minus 1, 7 minus 1 is 6, plus D. Now, the important thing to note here is n stands for any number. And you can see we have a growing pattern, A plus D, A plus 2D, A plus 3D. You can see that all we're doing is increasing our difference. Then we go, that's A plus n minus 2D plus D, right? So how did we get n minus 2? This is because if 4 is n, right? So 4 is n, 2 is 2 less than 4, so that is n minus 2, okay? Plus D, we can multiply that out to get A plus n minus 1. Multiply this out yourself to make sure you get that. It is very important that you've practiced getting from there to there. I want you all to do that. And then we get our magic formula, or our general formula, where Tn is equal to A plus n minus 1D. Grade 8, this is very important. You will be using it in the future years, but make sure you remember the general formula and what it means. So this is the general formula of a pattern involving a first common difference. Okay, let's have a look at example 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. What is the common difference? Common difference is T2 minus T1. You must write this. And that is equal to 5 minus 3, and that is equal to 2. Cool. 2 is your answer. What are the next 3 terms in the series? If we're adding 2 every time, 11 plus 2, so it goes 11, plus 2 is 13, plus 2 is 15, plus 2 is 17. We'll write the general rule for the series where n equals 1 for the first term. Now I give you the formula to make it a lot easier, because that's what you're going to be dealing with in grade 8. We know that A is the first term, and we know that D is the general formula. So we can say, the common difference, Tn is equal to 3 plus n minus 1 times the difference of 2. And that is your answer. And you can multiply this out to check it works. Minus 25, minus 30, minus 35, minus 40, minus 45. What is the common difference? The common difference is T2 minus T1. You must write that out. What is T2? Negative 30. What is T1? So we go minus negative 25. Minus times a minus is a plus. So that is negative 30 plus 25, which equals negative 5. And our difference is negative 5. As you can see, it's getting smaller. What are the next 3 terms? So we had negative 45, then negative 50, then negative 55. We're just simply taking 5 away every time. Then minus 60. Write the general rule for the series where n equals 1 for the first term. We're given the formula. It's very easy. So we go Tn. What is the first term? A is equal to negative 25 plus n minus 1. What is n minus 1? We just write it as n minus 1. And D of negative 5. I've put that in a brackets to keep it neat. Okay, let's look at one last example. Tn equals minus 2n plus 1. write the first three terms. So now we're told what Tn is, right? But it's slightly different here. The first three terms. So T1 is equal to negative 2 times 1 plus 1. And that is equal to minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1. T2 is equal to negative 2 times 2 plus 1. We assume that n is starting at 1. Minus 2 times 2 is minus 4, plus 1 is minus 3. T3 is equal to negative 2 times 3 plus 1. That's negative 6 plus 1 is negative 5. So you can see that our pattern is 1 minus 3 minus 5. What is our difference? T2 minus T1. That is equal to negative 3 minus 1, which becomes a plus. Negative 3 plus 1 is equal to 2. Our difference, negative 2. Our difference is negative 2. And where's negative 2? There is negative 2. Well done, grade 8. That's patterns involving a common difference, including the general rule. And this is the formula you need to remember for patterns involving a common difference. Well done, grade 8.